Okay, we have 12 participants.
So do we start or do we wait for some more time? Srihari, what do you say?
Let's 3 minutes. Let's wait for 15 minutes. 7:59.
Starting at 1905.
Okay.
Oh, oh, oh. Ah.
So just to break the ice, for those of you who do not know me, I'm Harshita, third year, obviously computer science. And in the holidays, I'm not doing much. I'm just writing some blogs on mobile app development. And if someone wants to share what you're doing in these holidays, you can feel free to do so. Srihari, what are you doing in the holidays?
They have. I think you have muted.
Is he there? Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, everyone then. I think everyone has muted.
Okay, maybe they don't want to speak. Okay, it's
Uh,
9:05. Let's
Oh,
start
wonderful.
whatever we are doing today. So good evening, everyone. I hope you know what today's session is about. Today's session is about PyGame, which is a module of Python. And in this session, we'll learn how to design a very, very simple game on Python. I don't even think we can call it a game. So we are just making an outline of how games are designed. So if you like today's session and if you want to further explore PyGame, I'll give you the resources. Before anything, just make sure you have Python installed on your laptops. Uh, just go to your command prompt and type Python. Just check if the version's coming up. And if you have Python installed, type an S in the chatbot, sorry. Yes, awesome. Uh, okay, two S's. Yeah, you can either unmute yourself and speak or you can type in the chat. Yes. Okay, so most of you have Python since I guess a lot of you have attended those sessions uh, that happen in the college on Python. So I'm assuming that a lot of you already have Python installed. So, um, okay, let's now let's now install PyGame. So just again, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have quit the command prompt. Just do pip install PyGame. Yeah, Swati, if you have Anaconda software, that will do the job. Once you're done with installing PyGame, let me know on the chat. You just have to do this pip install PyGame. Has everyone done this?
Hello. PyGame version name.
Sorry?
What about version name? PyGame 1.9.6.
Yeah, it's 1.9.6.
Done.
Done? Only Sudhakar is done. Anyone else?
It's already installed. I checked once 1.9.6.
Yeah,
Same. Same here. Same
1.9.6
here.
does the job. Done. Done. Okay. I'll wait for 1 more minute and then I'll move further. Okay. Do you all have a Sublime text editor on your laptop? I'll be using the same for this session. And I've chosen it because most of us have already used it for week of learning.
Yeah, we have.
You have it? Okay. Only one
Yes.
response?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Even we can use Jupyter notebook,
Yeah,
right?
you can use Jupyter Notebook, but I have chosen to use it because most of us already have it. That's it. You can
Okay.
use Jupyter Notebook also.
Okay.
Not only
We can
Jupyter, you
use
can use
command line
any
also.
text editors.
Yeah, you can use any
We
text
can
editor
use
actually.
Okay.
we can use command line only.
Yeah. So I think most of you have installed it. Kiran, is it done or is it still getting installed? Done. Okay, great.
Done.
So just open your Sublime text editor and get a new file. And under the tools, you have an option called build system. Okay. So under which you can choose Python. Once you have done this, let me know. Yeah, sure. I'll wait for 2 minutes.
Done.
Okay.
Done. Done.
Yeah, great. Swati, is it done? Can I go ahead? Okay, fine. So I am just going to first save this file. I'm going to give it a name as HGame because it's Harshita's game. And obviously the Python's extension is .py. So I'm saving it onto my desktop. So this is done, right? Okay. So before we move on to actually building the game, I thought we would take this session in a step-by-step process. Okay. So this first step for us would be to make a window. Okay. So for those of you who are in third year and final year, you would already know what is the difference between a window and a screen because we are studying that in this subject CG. But for second years, for your clarification, so this entire thing, can you see my mouse moving? So this entire thing, the outline, this complete thing is my screen. Okay. While this is my window. All right. So this sublime thing, whatever is present, that becomes my window. And my laptop's circumference, I don't know if I can call it circumference, but whatever it is. So the outline of my laptop, this is my laptop screen, right? So first, as soon as I have any game and as soon as I open the game, the first thing that pops up is my game's window, correct? So our first step here is going to be making that window first. Okay. So to do so, the first thing we are going to do is importing PyGame. Import PyGame. And for those of you who do not know, Python has a lot of modules. You know, Python is used for numerous activities each day. We use it for data science. We use it for making games. We use it for even on the web. We use it. So one module which is dedicated for making games in Python is this module called PyGame. Okay, so using the same, we are going to build our game today. So the first step I'm doing is to import my game. All right. So the second thing is, as I've already told you, I have to first make a window, right? So when I'm making a window, I'm supposed to give my window some dimensions. So that is what we are going to do. And these modules, right? Is it clear whatever I'm speaking? Is there any audio disturbance? Just let me know in the chat or
It's clear, it's clear.
it's clear. Okay. So um so under PyGame, I again have a lot of I can call them sub modules maybe, and in each sub module I have pre-written functions which I can use and make my game. Okay. So one such sub module is called as display. All right. So I can do PyGame dot display, and under display I have a function called a set mode, and this function is being used to set the dimension of my window. Okay, so to this I pass the dimensions. I'm going to make it 1000 comma 600. All right, 1000 in width and 600 in height. So can someone identify what data type this is? And unmute yourself and speak or chat it out. What is this data type I'm passing to set mode? It is a list. Okay. Any other answers? No, Nikhil, I'm not asking about inside the insides parenthesis. I'm asking about the complete parenthesis. Including the parenthesis, what is it called?
Set.
Set, okay. Yeah, it's
Tuple.
it's a tuple. So what is the difference between a tuple and a list? Can someone tell me?
Can you increase the font size? Can you increase the font size?
Now? Is it good now? Is the font fine?
Yeah, fine, fine.
Fine, okay.
Good.
So yeah, I'm asking about this data type, and Shrishti has told me that it is tuple. Yes, it is tuple. And Swati has given me an answer saying that it is a list. So can someone tell me what is the difference between a list and a tuple?
In tuples, elements can't be modified, but in list, elements can be modified.
Exactly. So it's called mutable and immutable. So in tuple, once I declare a tuple, it is as it is. I cannot modify it. Whereas once I declare a list, I can modify it. So here, mostly in PyGame, whatever we are going to use is going to be tuples mostly. And here also, I have passed a tuple. So this set mode is one function which takes in a tuple, right? So I have set the outline of my window, and now, okay. So you see, for this window of my Sublime text editor, I have a name called Sublime Text, and I would like to have a similar thing for my window also. Since my game is Harshita's game H game, I wanted to show the name on the top in here. Okay. So for the same, I will be using another function which is called as set caption. Pygame dot display set caption. And for this, I'll be passing a string, which is hgame. Okay, cool. So for us to execute this, you just have to save it using Control S and just do Control plus B, which will build it. Okay. So could someone notice what happened? Could you notice the flash? Something just appeared and disappeared.
Yes.
Yeah, you could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is happening is I have declared my window, but it doesn't know for how long it has to show the window. So I'll get back to that later. So first, I want you all to type so much of the code and execute it. And once you're done, once you have that flash coming onto your screen, just let me know.
Make everyone mute. Make everyone mute.
What?
Make everyone mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just make this a variable. Done? Okay, so are you getting that? Is the window just appearing and disappearing for everyone? Okay, I'll wait for a minute more for you to type this and execute it. And if anyone has any issues, you can let me know in the chat.
What is the shortcut key to execute it?
Um, Control plus B. And
It
don't
is not
forget to,
showing for me.
yeah, you just have to save it first and then build it.
Yeah, I have clicked Control S and then Control B,
Yeah.
Control plus.
Control S.
and it is showing only Python.
Yeah,
Are you getting this part at least? Whatever it is showing at the bottom to me, finished in some seconds.
No, it is showing like no.
No, nothing. So you have Python installed? Did you set the path and stuff? Mm. Okay, is it Muskan who's speaking now? Okay, maybe
What is the
whoever.
issue now?
Apparently, it's not getting executed.
She's not getting.
Is she installed PyGame?
Yeah, have you installed PyGame? Pip install PyGame that I've told initially.
It is showing requirement already satisfied.
Okay,
1.9.6 version.
okay,
Fine.
I have done it with Anaconda prompt itself.
Oh,
okay.
no problem. Yeah.
Uh,
While doing an Anaconda prompt, you must press Control Shift
Control.
Shift. You're doing in
But
Jupyter
it's
Labs,
not
no?
showing any. No, Sublime Editor itself.
Oh, then have you done this part? Have you built it? The build system stuff, Python. Is that done?
Okay, I will check it out.
Do you have Anaconda Navigator?
Yeah.
Uh, Within the search box, just type Anaconda prompt.
Yeah, Anaconda prompt I have opened.
Okay, open that. Type Jupyter Notebook.
Yeah.
JUPYTER. NOTBOOK.
Yeah.
Run that.
Yeah, I
Press
have
enter.
typed it.
It will open a window in Chrome or any website. Is it open?
Yeah, it is still running.
It will open.
Okay. Let's move on.
Wait,
Hmm.
Sita.
Okay, fine. I'll wait.
Yeah, it is open now.
At there, just
I have
check new
uh,
Python 3. It will create an new notebook.
Python 3. Yeah.
As it open, it will open like just untitled or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, type in the cell which he has given.
Okay.
And in Jupyter, to run the program, use Shift plus F10.
Shift and no, control and enter or control and shift. Sorry, shift
Shift
and
and enter also
enter or
works
control
like that.
and enter.
Shift and enter.
Yeah, shift and enter or control and enter.
But how to say like Python 1.6 hello from the output like this?
What?
Yeah, it's opening now.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's it.
All right.
You can close that again and type the code which you have taken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, move
So
on.
far. Okay. So far we've just shown the window, but it is immediately getting closed. Okay. So, but what exactly is supposed to happen? My window, once I open something, my window should get opened like the way my Sublime text editor has opened. And only when I press on this, can you see my cursor? I mean, my mouse. It's on the close option. So only when I press on that, my okay, only when I press on that, it should get closed. Correct? So now Gayatri can okay, you're requesting me for annotation. It's creating a little disturbance. Okay, I'll do it later. All right. So everything here, whatever I do is going to be an event. Okay, me pressing the close option or me pressing my mouse, moving my mouse. So all that whatever is happening is called an event. Okay, so I need to capture the event wherein I'm pressing on this option, and only when that event is satisfied, I'm supposed to uh, close my program, right? So for the same, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a variable called run, which is of Boolean type. So initially I'll set its value to true. Okay. So in here, I'll start a while loop, and as long as my run is true, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start a for loop. Okay. For event in pygame dot event dot get. Okay. So this function pygame dot event dot get is going to return me a queue. So second year guys, you have studied data structures, right? So you understand what a queue is, first in first out. Yeah. So all the events
Yeah.
that I yeah, so all the events that I do, they get stored in a list. Okay. So and from that list, do you understand this for loop? For event in pygame.events.get. So if I have a list, and let's assume my first event, when I do a particular event, it is getting stored into that list. Okay, so assume my first event is mouse move. Okay, and my second event is quit. Okay, so as I do something, those things are getting stored in this list. Okay, and in this for loop, what is happening is, in the first iteration of this for loop, my mouse move is going to get stored in this variable called as event. Okay, and accordingly the action is going to happen, and once the action is taken place, this thing gets erased, and my next element here is quit, right? So and now my event stores quit, and accordingly the action is going to take place. So here we are primarily focusing on the quit event, because our second step is to show the window, and only when I press on quit it has to quit. So and there are multiple events that are present. Let me show it to you. Okay, so these are all a bunch of events that are available in pygame.event.get. So it includes things to do with joystick, it includes things to do with mouse, it includes quit. So for this session, we are going to focus only on quit. So getting back, if event dot type, so I'm saying this event's type, if its type is matching pygame dot quit, then what am I supposed to do? I'll just make run as false, so that my window is no more visible. All right, so now let's try and execute this. So my window is being visible, and its dimensions are 1000 by 600, and once I press on quit, it quits. So now quickly I want you all to type this code down and execute it, and once you're done, let me know in the chat. Or do you just want me to copy and paste it in the chat box so that you can just copy paste it? Or okay, you want me to execute again? This is how it looks, and once I press the close button, it closes.
It's done.
Okay, it's happening. Okay, execute it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what happens, Sudhakar? It's not responding. It's not closing. Why? It has
No,
to.
I think you're using Anaconda Jupyter one. In Jupyter, we'll be saving this in IPyNB format. No, so it will just show not responding. We must close that on our own. But after saving this in like in file, we will be having this download as, and if we download this as .py, and within that directory, if we run this as a .py only, it will run correctly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So can we move further? Okay, I'll execute it again. So this is how it looks. And when I quit, it quits. Sahana, is it fine? All right. So let's go ahead.
Guys, whether everyone use Python ideally. If you are facing any execution issues, you can use that.
You didn't get the output window. Sahana, are you doing it on Sublime Text or somewhere else? Sublime only. Okay. Are you getting this part at least? Something under the PyGame display and all that?
Somewhere colon might be missing.
Yeah, colon or something might be missing. But if something is missing, then it would show an error, right?
Yeah, it will throw an error, but
Is it showing any error?
See the code once.
When I did in Anaconda, it's showing not responding when I close it.
yeah,
Can you
it
see
will
it?
show. It's okay.
Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
Uh, when I close it, it is showing Python is not responding.
Yeah, that's what I told, because it will be stored as
Shit.
IPyNB format. We must download that as an py format, and then we must run in that directory. If you run like that, it will run correctly.
Sahana, it's too small for me to see. I'll just copy paste the code. Why don't you try it that way?
Okay, but can you see the like code?
1 second. Yeah, I can see the code. Oh no.
See, I'm getting this if I execute it.
Shit. It's like the screen is switching quick.
Yeah.
Okay,
What are
give
you
this
getting once you execute
pygame.
it?
Okay, after run Hashita, you
Huh?
give pygame.time.it as 100 or something like that.
What?
Okay, I
Integrating
got it.
You
afterward.
got it?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Okay. So now whatever is happening is we are getting a window, right? But now I want to place some object on this window. I want to draw a circle or a rectangle or whatever it is. So I just want something to show up on my window. Okay. So before we move on to showing up things on the window, I would want to do a little theory. So as you all know, this is our window, right? This is our you can follow my mouse. So this is my window of dimensions 1000 by 600. So this place, the top left corner is my origin. Okay. So as I move towards the right, this becomes my positive x-axis. So this becomes +1, +2, +3, and so on. And coming to the y-axis, as I move downwards, this becomes my +1, +2, and so on. Okay. So when I am supposed to draw something, or when I'm supposed to place an object onto my window, then I have to mention the coordinates where that object is to be placed and also the dimensions of that object. Okay, clear? So I just want you to understand, since usually what we have learned in the school is like this is our origin and this would be our x-axis and this would be our y-axis, but here it's a little different. This is going to be our origin and this is our x-axis and this is our positive y-axis. All right. So hope this part is clear, and now let's move back to our sublime. So as I've already told you, if I have to place any object, then I need to, I should have its coordinates, right? So for the coordinates, I'm going to declare two variables. So I'm going to do x is equal to 50 and y is equal to 50. And here as the object, I want to draw a rectangle. Okay. So for the rectangle, I need to set the dimensions also, correct? So I do width as some 40 say, and height is 60. Okay. So now for me to display it onto the screen, I have one more sub module of PyGame which is called as draw. Okay. So PyGame dot draw dot, here I'm trying to draw a rectangle, so I'm going to do rect. Okay. And now, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. Fine. So where am I going to draw my rectangle? On my window. Window is this thing, my 1000 by 600 surface. So I'm going to draw it on my window, and in my window I want a rectangle which is in green color, say. So hope you all know the RGB thing. So I'll just give 0 to 55 and 0. So my red is 0, my green is 255, and my blue is 0. So this again, as I've already said, is a tuple data type. All right. So I'm going to draw it on my window. I'm going to draw a green colored rectangle, and my rectangle has to be placed at x comma y coordinates with width comma height dimensions. Okay. So this is what I want. So now theoretically this should work. This should display a green colored rectangle on my screen, right? So let's see if that is happening. Oops, it's not happening. So I'm just having a plain window again. So why is my rectangle not showing up? So for the same, I would like to move into some theory again. Um, okay. So can you all see the sticky note here? The pink colored thing.
No, it's not visible.
It's not visible.
It's so small.
Make it much
No,
smaller.
Sana, you can zoom it.
Okay.
Just zoom there. You can zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here in PyGame, whatever I do, it happens in a three-stepped process. Okay. So the first thing what Python's gonna do is handle the events, and the second thing it's going to do is to update the game state, and the third thing is it is going to do is to draw it onto the screen. And if we notice in the code what we have done, we are handling the events, and we are also drawing it onto the screen. But updating the game state is something that is not happening, right? So that is where our fault is. So we are supposed to write one more line of code to update the game state to the current state. Okay. So to do so, I'm going to add one more line of code, which is pygame dot display dot update. Okay. So now let's try. Okay. Can you see the green colored rectangle?
Yeah, it's showing.
Yeah. So I've mentioned
Yeah.
the dimensions, I've mentioned the coordinates, and it has to
Yep.
show up the green colored rectangle. Now quickly, I'll give you all 2 minutes. Let's wait till 7:45. So if someone has to type down the code, they can do it. Let me like zoom it out a bit. Okay. Uh, can you see the complete code?
Yeah.
Yeah. And once you're done, just let me know in the chat or unmute yourself and tell me. Done? Done. Okay. I'll wait for a little more time. Okay, great. So let's go ahead now. So if you see, I have one rectangle. This is fine. It's just being displayed there. But I want to play this game, right? So if you remember most of the games that the first ever games that we have played, what they included is as we click on our arrows, they move up, down, left, right, and all that. So I want the same thing to happen with this rectangle also. Okay. So if I have to do it, let's again get back to this and let's get to some theory. So as I've already said, this is my positive x-axis and this is my positive y-axis, right? So if I am pressing my right arrow, then the coordinates of this rectangle have to be increased, right? Okay, the x coordinate of this rectangle has to be increased, correct? So as I move this way, it is since currently it is 50, it has to when I'm moving it ahead, the x coordinate has to increase, right? In a similar way, if I'm trying to press the left arrow, then my x coordinate has to decrease, and if I'm moving downwards, then my y coordinate has to increase. I've already told you this is the positive y and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on, right? So when I'm pressing the down arrow, the y coordinate has to increase. And again, when I'm pressing the up arrow, the y coordinate has to decrease. So this has to be put into a code now. And for the same, what we are going to do is, okay, so there is one function which is called as get pressed. Okay, so let's see how it works. Pygame dot key dot get pressed. Okay, and whatever it returns, whatever this function returns, I am assigning it to something called as keys. Okay, so now I will print keys and I want any one of you to tell me what exactly this keys is containing. Okay. Okay. So can you see this? Can you see this thing here? What is happening? Can someone tell me? Can someone understand and unmute yourself and tell me what is happening here? Okay, someone's speaking, but I cannot hear them. I think it's better if you like chat. Okay, can someone tell me what exactly is keys containing? If you want me to show the code, this is the piece of code that I've typed. And when I'm trying to print keys, something like this is being printed. And whatever is being printed infinite times because it's running in an infinite while loop, right? So can someone at least take a guess what is happening? Okay, fine. So it's considering all the keys of the keyboard values. Yeah. So Dhanushri is correct. What it is returning is a tuple again. Okay, so you see there is a open parenthesis, right? And there are a lot of keys. So as I press any key from my keyboard, then that particular key's value over here will become 1. Okay, so when I have not pressed it, it is 0, and when I press it, it is becoming 1. So this is how we are going to see whether which key I have pressed on my keyboard. Okay, so what this tuple is being stored in keys, right? So now what I'm going to do is if keys of pygame dot k left. So this indicates my left arrow. Okay, so if keys of pygame.k left, which means if my left arrow key on my keyboard, if its value is 1 in the tuple, then what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to decrease my x-axis, right? So see here, when I go left, so what is happening? My x coordinates value is getting reduced. So that is what I'm going to do here. Okay, so one more thing, if I'm decreasing my x coordinate or if I'm increasing my x coordinate, it has to be done in a constant value, right? So in order to set that constant value, I'm using something called as velocity. So this is going to be basically the velocity at which my rectangle is going to move. Okay, so this velocity I'll set it to 5. All right. So if keys of a pygame.k left, which means if my left arrow key is pressed, then I'm going to do x is equal to x minus velocity. Okay, so I'm decreasing my x coordinate by 5. That is all I'm doing. And similarly, let's do it for the other set of keys as well. Let me just paste it 4 times. Oops. Okay, so my left keys thing is done. So what are the other keys I have? I have a right key and I have an up key and I have a down key. Okay, so when I'm moving left, I will decrease my x coordinate. Okay, when I'm moving towards my left, I decrease my left coordinate, and when I'm moving towards the right, I have to increase my x coordinate. So x is equal to, it becomes x plus velocity. And when I'm moving downwards, since this is going to be my positive y-axis, when I'm moving downwards, this has to increase, y coordinate has to increase. So when I'm moving down, y is equal to, oops, y is equal to y plus velocity. And similarly, when I'm going upwards, it results in y is equal to y minus velocity. Okay, so let's save it till here and let's see how it works. Okay, So let me build it. Okay, so I got my rectangle. I'll try moving towards the right and then down and then left and then up. So can you notice my rectangle is not moving, rather it is like forming a path. Can someone identify why this is happening? Why is the rectangle not moving, rather it's just drawing everywhere? I'll give you a minute. Try going through the code till here. Try analyzing whatever we have done so far, and let's see if anyone can give an answer to it. Can you all see the code? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because we need have used draw function. Yeah, Dhanushri is almost there. Okay, she's right. So what is happening is, in my while loop, so every time I reset my x coordinate, every time I reset any of my coordinates, I am drawing. Okay, so I am not changing my rectangle's position every time, rather I am redrawing my rectangle. So that is what is happening, and it should not be and in order to fix that, what we are going to do is, so just before drawing anything onto the screen, okay, so I will do this, which is which is my window. Okay, so currently my windows background is black, right? So I will do uh, win dot fill of, I'm passing a tuple here, um, 0 comma 0 comma 0. Okay, so just before I draw something, I am making my entire screen black, and I am drawing the rectangle which is at the current x and y axis, which are whatever I have set from here. Okay, do you understand? So now let's try executing this. Okay, so now, yeah, this is fine. As I move, it's doing the right job. Now again, I'll give you some time. You can all type this code down, or okay. So everyone has typed your code till here, right? I'll just put this on the chat so that you can, copy and paste it. Oh, I've sent it only to Sahana. Oops. Okay. So once you're done with it, just let me know. Okay, Sudhakar is done. Tarunana is done. Once I get at least 5 done, I'll move ahead. Shrishti is done. Great. So you all understand what is happening, right? If you have any doubts, you can feel free to ask me with respect to the code. Okay, so I'm assuming that you are understanding whatever is happening. Yeah, no problem. Okay, great. Okay, so now I'll get back to this thing. So okay, one more thing that I'd like to do here is I'll just do pygame dot time dot delay of 100. Okay, so this way my rectangle just moves a little slower. Okay, so One issue that I have with my rectangle right now is, see, it is able to go out of my screen, right? So it is able to go out of my scope in all the directions. So I don't want that to happen. In any games that we have played so far, we don't see the character going out of the window, right? So this is not something right. So let's try fixing it. So in order to fix it, what we are going to do is, okay, let's again get back to the same thing. So when I'm moving, let's first consider this corner. Okay, so I'm moving with respect to my x-axis, right? So whatever I'm doing, I'm just doing right and left position. So whatever's happening here is happening with respect to my x-axis. So once and here my x-axis becomes 0, right? So when I'm moving left further, it should not accept it. So for the same, what I'll do is, under the left's condition, I'll just mention that only if my x is greater than 0, I will accept it. Otherwise, I won't let it move. That is okay. It should have an and. Okay. So when a person presses on his left arrow, and if the person's x coordinate is greater than 0, only then I'll let that person move towards the left. Otherwise, I'm not letting him move. Okay. So now let's see if this works. Okay. So, okay, that worked. I'm pressing it and it's no more moving. Okay. So in a similar way, when I'm moving towards my right, so when I'm moving towards the right, see this, whatever we have, this width, as we have already set, it is 1000, right? So as I, okay, this is a little too slow. Oh, okay. Okay. So here, as I move towards the right, okay, so oops, it's a little too slow, I'm sorry. Okay, so as I move towards the right, it should not exceed 1000 again. So towards the left side, we have managed it by making sure my x is always greater than 0, and towards the right side, we are going to manage it by making sure my x is less than 1000, because my screen width I have set it to 1000. So I'll do, when I press right and my x is less than 1000. Okay, so now let's see if this works. It did not work. Can someone guess why it did not work? Okay, see. So what happened is, as I move towards the right, at this position, uh, it's not just okay. So the width of my rectangle also matters, right? So this particular part of my rectangle, this width, so this part is going in. So in order to control that, what I'm going to do is, I'll do x, and x has to be less than 1000 minus the width of my rectangle. So let's see if this works. Okay, yeah, it worked. So you know what was happening earlier, since my limit was 1000, and since my origin of the rectangle starts here, right? Can you see my cursor? The origin of my rectangle is starting here. So by limiting it to only 1000, I am able to send this particular part also inside. That is why, in order to limit it properly, I have done 1000 minus the width of my rectangle. So did everyone get it? Did you understand why we had to do it? Can someone respond, please? Yes, yes. Okay, great. So now let's do the similar thing with respect to up and down arrows. Okay, so now when I'm moving up, oh no, I have too many builds. Okay, so when I'm moving up, what is supposed to happen? I will go up and it has to be restricted at y is equal to 0, right? So now what I'm gonna do, and as long as my y is okay, as long as my y is greater than 0, I'll let it move upwards. Okay, and for downwards again, it has to be, and y has to be less than the height of my screen, which is 600, minus the height of my rectangle again. So height of my rectangle is stored in this variable called height. So now let's see if this works. I'll just increase the velocity. Okay, so here it is stopping itself, upwards it is stopping itself, and when I go here, yeah, it's stopping itself. And let's check all the corners. Perfect, here too it's stopping itself. And yeah, awesome. So this way we have limited our object only to the boundaries, and now all our arrows are also working. I can go up, down, wherever I want to, and I wouldn't go out of the boundary. So hope you've understood the code till now. You can just copy it. All the changes that you have to make are over here. You just have to add these and parts. So once you're done, let me know. Okay, yeah, people are done. All right. So now we are done with the basic arrow part, and now I want to make my rectangle jump. Okay. So remember, anyone having the not responding while closing the window? Are you facing that issue? No. Okay. Okay. Cool. So so now I'm planning to jump. Remember how? Okay, not me. Literally, I want my rectangle to jump. So remember in the games, in most of the games that we have played, whenever we pressed on the space bar, we could make the character in our. Why did we subtract with the width and height? Okay, okay. So what's happening is my rectangle is getting originated here. So this part is the beginning of my rectangle. Okay, so when it comes to this other side, that is towards the left hand side, I am able to stop the origin from moving, right? So the origin cannot move. But when it comes to the right side, what is happening is, since Okay, since this part is my origin, it is able to move in. Okay, so since I don't want from here, I mean my restriction for my rectangle to move is at this place, not at this place, because my rectangle is originating here and not here. So that is why in order to restrict my rectangle at this point, uh, I had to separate 1000 with the width so that it stops here. And similarly, when it comes to height, it's not okay, it's not here that I'm supposed to stop. Rather, at this point, I'm supposed to stop my rectangle from moving further. Okay, so that is why I had to subtract the height of my screen. I had to subtract the height of my rectangle from the height of my screen. Is it clear now, Sahana? Yes, okay, perfect. So now I want to make my rectangle jump. Okay, so for the same, I will initiate two variables. So I'm going to call those variables as is jump. Okay, and I'm going to set this to false. And I'll have one more variable called jump count. And I'll be setting this initially to 10. Okay, so now see, whenever I'm pressing an upper arrow, the upper arrow, I cannot press space while pressing the upper arrow. Okay, while going up you cannot jump, and similarly while going down you cannot jump. Only when you're moving left or right you can jump, right? So that is practical, that is something practical. And also when you're jumping you cannot jump again. So when you're pressing the space bar, you cannot press the space bar again, right? So in order to set these basic rules, what we are going to do is, so I think everyone understood is jump. Okay, is jump is just a variable now. Okay, so over here I'll just initiate one more if statement. Okay, if not of is jump, which means if my is jump variable is true, which means I'm already pressing my space bar. Okay, I'm sorry. If I am not pressing my space bar, I'm allowed to press my upper arrow and down arrow, right? So it's did you understand, or I don't know if I've explained it properly. Okay, repeat, fine. Okay, so when I am pressing, I cannot jump while going upwards, and I cannot jump while going downwards. And when I'm already jumping, I cannot jump again. Okay, so I am supposed to make sure my up arrow and down arrow are not associated with my spacebar. Okay, so even in games like Mario that you have played, you could do right arrow plus jump. Right arrow plus spacebar and left arrow plus spacebar. Nowhere is it allowed that you press upper arrow plus spacebar, lower arrow plus spacebar, right? So you can press them only when my spacebar is not pressed, which means only when my jump is not true. Okay, and similarly when I am jumping, I cannot when I'm jumping I cannot jump I cannot jump while jumping, right? So when I'm pressing my spacebar, I cannot again press the spacebar because I have only one spacebar. Did it make sense? When I write the code, I think it makes sense. So if my keys of PyGame dot k space. So this again sets my spacebar's tuple value to 1. Okay, so only if my space is pressed, then I'm doing is jump to true. So initially my isJump is false, indicating that I'm not jumping. Okay, and only when I'm pressing the spacebar, I'm making my isJump as true. Okay, so now okay, let's go to how a jump happens. Okay, so when I'm jumping, it means I'm going in this direction, right? So when I'm going in this direction, what does it mean? I'm reducing my y coordinate, right? So that is what I'm supposed to do. And for the same, what I'm going to do is, okay, so here, if not of isJump, this is fine. When my jump is false, which means when my spacebar is not pressed, then I'm doing this. Otherwise, else, which means when my spacebar is pressed, which means when my isJump is true, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do if jump count is greater than or equal to -10, y is equal to y minus jump count to the power 2. Okay, so here let's understand it this way. This is an infinite loop. Okay, and after every activity, I'm drawing something onto my screen, and since my event is not quit, I'm going here and I'm checking what keys are being pressed and what keys are not being pressed. Correct? So, and initially I have set my jump count to false. Initially I have set my jump count to 10, right? So here, what is going to happen is, let me add one more statement here. Jump count is equal to jump count -1. Okay. During my first iteration, right, my jump count's value is 10. Correct? So, and when I press spacebar, so this is happening only when I press my spacebar. Okay, so here what is happening, my jump count's value is greater than or equal to -10. Yeah, 10 is greater than or equal to -10. So then what am I doing? I am decreasing my y coordinate. Okay, so I am decreasing my y coordinate by how much? Jump count to the power 2, which means I am decreasing my y coordinate by 100 pixels in the first iteration. Okay, because 10 square is 100, my current jump count value is 10, right? And the next thing that I'm doing is jump count is equal to jump count -1, which means now my jump count's value is 9. So again it goes back, and again here, and again else. So my space bar is pressed. Again it checks if my jump count is greater than or equal to -10. My current jump count is 9, is 9. So yeah, it is greater than or equal to -10. So then again my y is going to is my voice fine now? Chandana, can you hear me properly now? Fine. Okay. Until where could you follow me? From where should I repeat? Bega Haley, where should I repeat from? Till where could you follow? Chandana, till where could you follow me? Is my voice not clear to everyone, or is it only Chandana? No problem. Okay. Then maybe Chandana, it's an issue with your network. Okay, however, we are recording everything, so I'll share the recorded version to everyone. That would do the job. So yeah, what's happening here is, now in my second iteration, when my jump count's value is 9, again my jump count is greater than or equal to -10, and again I'm decreasing my y coordinate by jump count square 2, which means I'm decreasing my y coordinate by 81 pixels now, and again I'm doing jump count is equal to jump count -1. So here what exactly is happening? This is my rectangle. Okay. So once I press the space bar, initially it is getting decreased by 100 pixels. Later it's getting decreased by 81 pixels. And later again it's getting decreased by 64 pixels. So it is going like that. Okay. So now with whatever we have written so far, I'll try to execute and show you what is happening. Okay. So this is my rectangle and let me jump. It went and it's just gone. Okay. So maybe the values are a little too big for it. So I'll just multiply this with um
జంప్ అవుతున్నావా
hmm?
నువ్వు జంప్ అవుతున్నావా
What?
లెట్ మీ జంప్ అన్నావు కదా సో
Yeah, it's a very high jump. So
ఓకే ఓకే
okay, we can use this shortcut. Y minus is equal to jump count to the power 2 into 0.5. So I'm just reducing whatever I have by half. Okay. So now let's try how this works. So I'll start from the bottom. Okay. So let me jump. Okay. And it stopped there. So, okay. So what exactly happened here? Did you notice this? When I'm jumping, it is taking a pause at one place and from there it is jumping further. You notice there is a pause here and then it is moving further. So do you know why it is happening? Can someone guess why that pause is happening? No guesses? Okay. So as my loop iterates, my jump count value, I'm decreasing it. Okay, you want me to execute it again? Okay, so this is my rectangle. Since its jump has to be visible to everyone, I'm just doing it from the bottommost place. So I have jumped. It has a pause there and it moves further. Did you see that? Yes. Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. So can someone guess why that happened? Okay. It's no idea. Fine. As we are decreasing our values, as we are decreasing our jump counts values, right? At one point, my jump count becomes 0, right? And at jump count is equal to 0. So at jump count is equal to 0, I am subtracting 0 from my y coordinate, which means at that particular iteration, nothing is being subtracted. That is why at that particular iteration, it is being 0. Okay. So now um okay, yeah. So now what we are going to do, let's have that particular point as our you know okay, so how exactly is it supposed to happen? So when I take a jump, right? When I jump till here, it has to go that way, and from that particular 0th point it has to start coming down, because jump is not just going up, rather it is coming down also. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just have okay, actually finish up noting down so much of code and then we'll continue. Once you execute this, let me know. And I had, okay, just go ahead. Toronto is Tarunanna. Sudhakar is done. Anyone else who's done? Okay, yeah, Tarunanna Garu, I'm giving you so much respect. Done. Okay, so one more thing that I have to take into account here is that once my jump count value reaches -10, or probably sorry, once my jump count is less than -10, it means that my jump has finished. Okay, so then I have to enable my other I have to set it all back to normal, so for which I'm supposed to do else here I will again set back my is jump to false, and I will set back my jump count to 10. Okay, so is it clear? Just type down this part also. Is it done? Yep. Okay, cool. Everyone's done. Let me get at least 5 responses. Okay, cool. So this is done, and now does it jump twice when you press press? Okay, see, it's not jumping twice. So as I've said, when I'm jumping, I'm doing nothing but decreasing my y coordinate. Okay, so by how much I'm decreasing my y coordinate? In my first iteration, when my jump counts value is 10, I am decreasing my y coordinate by 100 divided by 2. Okay, and in my second iteration I am reducing it by 81 divided by 2, so it is going like that. Okay, but when it comes when and in every iteration I am again reducing my jump count, right? So as it goes, at one point my jump count becomes 0, right? So during that point I am decreasing nothing from here. It's just going to be y is equal to y minus 0. So at that point, since there is no progress, there is being a pause there. So that is why it appears like it is jumping twice, but it is not. It's just a pause at the 0. Did you understand, Shrishti? Okay, great. So yeah, my jump basically means I have to go up and I have to come down also. It is not just going up and being forever there, right? So till here it is fine, and instead of going up there it has to come down, right? So to do that, let's do a little math. um okay, can you all see this part? Yes, okay, cool. So initially when my jump count is 0, sorry, my jump count is 10, right? I'm doing y is equal to y minus 50. right? That is because 10 squared becomes 100 and 100 divided by 2 becomes 50. And later, okay, so when I jump, as my jump count decreases, as I start approaching negative numbers, so there what is happening? My jump count, when my jump count is -2, assume as I move towards the negative numbers, when my jump count is -2, what's going to happen? Y is equal to y minus, uh, it's going to be y is equal to y minus 4. Ignore this -1 for now. Okay, so it is going to be y is equal to y minus 4 because the square of a negative number is also a positive number, right? So now what I am trying to do is, when I jump, okay, so when I jump, as long as my jump count is positive, I'm supposed to go up, and once it starts becoming negative, I have to start adding to my y coordinate. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to put in one more variable which is called as neg. Okay, so here I'm just going to do neg is equal to -1, neg is equal to 1 initially. Okay, so if my jump count is greater than or equal to -10, here I will insert one more condition. Okay, if my jump count is less than 0, which means as I start approaching negative numbers, then what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to add to my y coordinate. I'm not supposed to decrease from my y coordinate, because as my jump count is positive, okay, see, as my jump count is positive, I'm going upwards, which means I am decreasing my y coordinate. And as my jump count is approaching the negative numbers, I have to increase my y coordinate. Okay, coming down is increasing. I've already told you, right? So here, this is my positive y axis, because of which when I'm moving downwards, it means that I'm increasing the numbers, and when I'm moving upwards, it means that I'm decreasing the numbers, because the numbers are aligned this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Correct? So when, if my jump count is less than 0, then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do neg is equal to -1. Okay, and to this y, okay, I'll just move it. Oh no, this is fine. So to this y, I'm going to multiply neg. Okay, so by doing this, what exactly is happening is, when my jump count is a positive number, which is, assume when my jump count is 10, I'm going to do y is equal to y minus 100 divided by 2 into 1, because when my jump count is a positive number, my neg value is 1, right? So it is being multiplied by 1. And now when my jump count value is negative, then immediately my neg becomes -1. That is what is the condition I've mentioned here. So then what is going to happen? It is going to square it, divided by 2, and to all of this, it is going to multiply uh, -1. So what is happening here? I am basically doing y is equal to y plus 2. You got that? Because I am multiplying it with this particular -1. Right? Did you all get it? Yes? Okay. So that is the importance of neg. Okay. So it is just to make sure my rectangle comes down after it jumps. Okay. So now let's execute this. So let me try jumping. Okay, it's going up and it's coming down. Perfect. Now I will try jumping with the right arrow. It is able to jump that way, just like in one of our Mario games. And I can even do it with the left. Okay, perfect. So you can all get this code, copy this code down. And once you're done, let me know. And if you're unable to see any part of the code, you can let me know. Done, done, done. Okay. All right. So we have pretty much gone past 1.5 hours now. So this is pretty much what I wanted to show under PyGame, right? So we in this class, we have understood how we build any objects and how we can make it move towards left, right, top, bottom in whatever direction we want to, right? So it can move in all the directions, right? It can go up, left, right, down, and our rectangle can also jump, right? So this is what I wanted to show. And yeah, so one thing that I've heard from a lot of students from student forum was that people were saying that we are only teaching the basics of every concept and they do not know how to go further. So we are not a community which gets sticked on to one topic, right? So the purpose of student forum is just to let you all know that something called PyGame exists, and we are just trying to make you aware of how things are built in it, right? So if a lot of you wants a series of PyGame, if a lot of you wants to learn how a complete game is built, we can do that also. So if you're interested, you can let us know. And one more thing that we thought was, um, since quarantine is going and since we have more 15 days left, we thought it would be great if we can have sessions 2 days once, or on alternate days. We have Nikhil and we have Dhanushri, who have explored quite a lot of machine learning and data science. So they are willing to take like 5 to 6 sessions and do a proper project with deep learning. So if you're interested, that would be great. We will give down the link every alternate day, and we can join and we can learn this way. So hope you all liked this session. And if uh, sorry, what did you say? Suggestion print event dot get in the for loop. Oh, okay. Okay. So currently, since no events are noted, it is an empty list. And when I press on the quit button or when I do any actions as such, then that action is recorded into this list. So this is basically a queue that we have, and every element of the queue is going to get stored in this thing called event. And so that is how all this quit thing is working. Yeah, so if thanks Abhijit Bhaiya for that suggestion. um, so so if you're interested in learning on alternate days, we can pretty much do that. So hope you have liked this session, and we'll give out you can give out the feedback on the student forum WhatsApp group. And also, if you would like to learn every alternate day or 2 days once, you can let us know on the group so that we'll make the arrangements. So hope you all like the session and hope you all learned something from it. And I think we can end the meeting. Thank you. Good night. Anyone has anything to say? Yep, Tarunana, go ahead. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for patiently listening to me. Yeah, have a nice night. Thank you. So if anyone has any feedback to be given, they can directly approach me and you can even mention on the group. I wouldn't mind anything. Oh, wait, we had to take a screenshot. People, wait. Oh, yeah. So can everyone once like turn on your videos or something so that we can take like a screenshot and show off to everyone? Yeah, that's my horrible face. Okay. So who can take a screenshot? Can someone do it? Where are the remaining people? People you don't want to show your faces? Okay, great. I'll just take a screenshot of whatever is there here, whoever is available. All right. So that's there for our social media show off. Okay, thank you all. I'm ending the meeting.